Welcome to NorCal Slot Car Scene. Recently, Roseville Raceway has started a series for AFX Mega G Plus with Formula bodies. The first race of this series drew 8 competitors. In today's video, I'm going to go over the modifications I do to create a competitive AFX Mega G Plus race car. First, let's take a look at the parts that I'm using in this build. In the front, I'm using a complete Viper aluminum independent front end. As for the rear axle assembly, I've maintained the stock gears, but changed out everything else. First, I'm using quicker double-flanged rear hubs. The quicker hubs are probably the single most important part in building a smoother car. I've also added a Viper hollow axle, Viper 452 rear tires, and Viper 006 pickup springs. When you're racing a car that relies on magnets for downforce, one of the most important items in tuning that car is the tire diameter. In general, the taller tire will give you more top speed, the shorter tire will give you better handling. Turning faster lap times is always a balance between top speed and handling. On the track that I race at, Roseville Raceway, top speed is more important, and the tire sizes you see here probably won't work on your local track, so I would start a little bit shorter. I'm using stock pickup shoes, but I am modifying them slightly by restricting the movement. To do this, I've inserted the pickup shoes in a pair of pliers and put a slight bend in the very tip of the pickup shoe. Now replace the stock springs with the Viper 006 springs and install the pickup shoe. Once the shoe is installed, place it on a test block and make sure the shoe itself is flat with the rails. Using the test block will get the shoes close, but you'll need to do the final testing at the track. When you finally get the pickup shoes right, you'll see a nice hourglass pattern as it's perfectly flat against the rails of the track. The amount of pressure the pickup shoe springs apply to the pickup shoes also affects the speed of the car. In general, it's just like tires. The more pressure, the more top speed. The less pressure, the better handling. With the AFX Mega G Plus, I started with around 6 grams of pressure. Now that the chassis is completely assembled, I use super glue on the motor and the circuit board to make sure they're both securely in place. The second half of this video has to do with the modifications I'm going to do to the body. The body of an AFX car can drastically affect how well the car handles. Our goal here is to give the body float in relation to the chassis. That means the body is actually going to fit very loose on the chassis. To do this, we have to modify the tabs that mount the body to the chassis. I use a small file and take about 20,000ths of an inch off of the 5 faces of the tab. On the surface of the tab, I again use a small file and take about 20,000ths of an inch off. You may also have to grind off some of the flashing on the inside of the body that may affect the movement. After test fitting and retrimming if necessary, the body should float easily on the chassis. The last step I do in preparing a body is reinforce the front and rear wing. In the front, I cut a strip of carbon fiber and superglue it to the bottom. The rear wing snaps into place, so I use superglue here as well to keep it from coming out. These rear wings typically come out during racing, and sometimes they're lost. Once that happens, I fabricate a brand new rear wing out of those same carbon fiber strips. All of the modifications we've done to the Mega G Plus are designed to make the car smoother and faster and easier to drive. The car is now ready to reattach the body and go racing. Thanks for watching. This is Jim Rose with NorCal Slot Car Scene.